So the problem that you have here is that this is pure conjecture.
No,
Hang on. This is not evidence that Tyler Robinson is a patsy. It's only evidence that you have conjectured up that, well, if it's the case that these are the more degraded prints, then therefore that means must be patsy because dad's fingerprints on gun.
I didn't say must be patsy.
Describe how this actually links in to Robinson being a patsy.
Okay, I just described that for you, so I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you, so I'm going to move on from that.
I'm your host, Joel Perez, and you're watching Wrestling with Politics, and today we're going to be discussing, of course, the great debate which just happened yesterday between Andrew Wilson and Candace Owens. And this was quite a long debate, 4 hours, if you watched it on PBD's podcast. And I don't know how the hell PBD ended up in the middle of all this. But it was a super long debate. And to be quite honest here, you see the title of this video, not much got accomplished. We didn't get to the bottom of basically anything by the end of this debate. And the reason I say that, I have to explain that right off the bat here. It's because if you supported Candace Owens before watching this debate, you still support Candace Owens. You still believe what you believed coming into this debate, coming out of this debate. If you were somebody inclined to believe the narrative that there are holes in the official story, the narrative that Candace Owens is presenting, you still believe that. And if you're somebody who hates Candace Owens and completely disagrees with her and believes the official narrative, and you believe that Candace Owens got exposed here. So that's why I'm saying, and that's why the title of this video is that nothing got accomplished here, because in the sense of changing anybody's mind, I don't believe that this debate changed anything. So if you sat through these 4 hours, you are probably in the same place you were before this debate began, and that's a shame, because as far as the debate goes, I do believe that Candace Owens won here. She handily won this debate against Andrew Wilson. And before the Candace Owens haters click off this video, allow me to explain myself, because what was basically going on in this debate is that Andrew Wilson came in here kind of trying to interrogate Candace Owens and put her on trial as if she's on trial, as if she's part of this case, and as if her evidence, which Candace Owens, what is she? She's a podcaster. He's trying to hold her feet to the fire and try to make it seem like, oh, what she's saying, oh, it's so heinous, and that there's no basis for it. And that's his claim, that Candace Owens has no evidence. And that claim right there fell apart, because I think we can all agree there are multiple pieces of evidence here. There is a lot of holes in the official narrative with a lot of things here. I could just list them off for you. The 30-06 bullet, and the fact that how the hell would that bullet, which apparently according to Candace Owens' investigation can go through steel, how did that not produce an exit wound and go through Charlie Kirk's neck? Why was the crime scene covered up so quickly? I mean, when it comes to that, I'll give the caveat that it was in a college campus, and perhaps the college itself wanted to get the students back into class. But regardless, it is an active crime scene and a national story. Why was it covered up so quickly? There's that piece right there. There's the fact that the behavior of Andrew Wilson and Erica Kirk and TPUSA, and the fact that this is perhaps the most convincing evidence to me. Well, perhaps it's not evidence, but it's definitely suspicious, to say the least. Their behavior, the fact that they're completely certain that Tyler Robinson did this, and it's 100% certain, it's a fact that Tyler Robinson is guilty, and that's part of what I'm about to get into with Andrew Wilson's argument. How is he so certain? What evidence does he have to claim that Tyler Robinson definitively did this before this has even gone to trial? And so we're all operating here, Candace Owens and Andrew Wilson, they're operating off of the same evidence that Candace Owens has to say that there are holes in this story and that she doesn't believe that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk, is the same evidence that Andrew Wilson is going off of when he says that he's certain that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. And so how are you so certain? Because this hasn't gone to trial, and it is supposed to be innocent before proven guilty, and that's my whole point here. Why are they trying to convict Tyler Robinson before anything has been definitively proven? And so that's what Andrew Wilson was trying to go off of as his evidence. The fact that there's text messages that are apparently, according to the state narrative, from Tyler Robinson. Well, that could be questioned. What if somebody else had Tyler Robinson's phone? What if it wasn't Tyler Robinson sending those messages, as I'm alluding to here? That can be questioned, and none of this has been definitively proven. Another piece was these blurry images of Tyler Robinson apparently on campus. That, again, could be disproven. None of that is definitive, and none of this has been proven in a court of law, and that's the point that Candace Owens was bringing up here. The fact that this evidence, it's all based off of hearsay. The code 821, Utah code 8201 or some crap like that, and all of this evidence that's being given in the pre-trial, it's all based off of hearsay. And basically it's the fact that you can poke holes in this narrative like the way Candace Owens is doing, based off of the same evidence that Andrew Wilson is using to say that Tyler Robinson definitively did it. So there is no concrete evidence here yet laid out in this case because it hasn't gone to trial yet. And yet here we are having a 4-hour debate about who did it and what's going on here and all this crap. And it's kind of too early to have this entire debate. Nothing is definitive yet. But what I will agree with Candace Owens on is that it's never too early to ask questions and ask what the hell is going on here. And that's where the biggest thing comes up here, because the official narrative, it does have holes in it. Things are looking suspicious. We can't trust the government with so many things. And there is some evidence, not no evidence, the way Andrew Wilson, that's his main debate claim, that Candace Owens had no evidence, and that argument completely fell apart because Candace Owens, to her credit, has been one of the main people investigating this story, trying to provide evidence. She provided the evidence of the hooded figure, the black figure, doing the military crawl on the roof. She provided the picture of Tyler Robinson at the Dairy Queen hours after the shooting happened. So Candace Owens has been the main one digging into this story, trying to ask questions. And then you have Andrew Wilson on the other side, which is incredibly suspicious. You have Erica Kirk and Tpusa, which is incredibly suspicious, saying that no, you shouldn't ask questions, that you should believe exactly what the official narrative is, you should believe exactly what the FBI and the state is telling you, and stop asking questions, stop looking into this. What they're telling you is completely true, take it at face value. And again, that just creates more suspicion, and that's why a lot of people here are beginning to question the official narrative, and why this debate didn't go so well for Andrew Wilson, because he's still on Twitter doubling down that there was no evidence and that Tyler Robinson and that Candace Owens didn't have any evidence for her claims. But that didn't seem to be the case. Candace Owens had a lot of things to go through. And as a matter of fact, the evidence that Candace Owens was going through, it seemed to be the same evidence that Andrew Wilson was using to base his claim. So it didn't make any sense there. And then on top of that, Candace Owens seemed to be extremely knowledgeable on this case. She seemed to know exactly what the hell Andrew Wilson was talking about every single time he brought it up. And before he even brought the evidence up, the pictures and everything, she seemed to know where it was coming from. And even at one point in this debate, and we can play the clip about that one, Candace Owens was asked to name the 7 charges that Tyler Robinson was charged with, and she did it off of the top of her head.
Which one of the charges against, or all of them, do you think Tyler Robinson is guilty of?
Yeah, can we list them real quick? I'll tell you exactly which ones. We'll pull them up.
Well, do you know any of the charges that he's up for right now?
Yeah, of course. But I want to make sure that we have them listed.
Yeah, but like can you name one?
I think he's been charged with murder.
That's actually incorrect.
Okay, great. Now name all 7.
He doesn't even. This is like
name all 7.
And I
can you name all 7?
I can.
Then do it.
The first charge is aggravated murder, because that's what carries a death sentence in the state of Utah. No,
Next.
that's not. That is literally not murder.
Okay.
The second charge is the felony discharge of a weapon. The next 2 charges are for obstruction of justice.
Okay.
The next 2 charges are for witness tampering, and the
what's
final.
the specific charges though?
That is them. Obstruction of justice,
Both
obstruction
of
of justice, witness tampering.
Okay, and there's no other specifics to them.
Well, I can tell you why he's being
No,
charged
no,
with
no.
it.
Just the charges and then 7.
Yeah, see, the bad thing is when you try to be an a-hole and it doesn't work.
What's the 7th?
The last charge is violence in front of a minor.
Okay, got it. So then he's being charged with murder. You just say aggravated murder. That's the distinction. You just want to.
It's a massive. It's
Got
like
it.
you cannot
Massive.
say murder versus aggravated
Massive
murder.
distinction.
This gets to the entire crux of why him being up for the death sentence.
And Andrew Wilson couldn't even name one charge. All he said was murder, which was obviously Charlie Kirk was murdered. Obviously, that's what we're talking about here. But Candace Owens specifically listed each and every single charge. It was actually quite impressive. And it's clear that Candace Owens has been through every single part of this case, and she knows exactly what she's talking about here. She's been investigating it. She's deeply invested in everything going on here. And Andrew Wilson just seemed to come in trying to litigate Candace Owens, which makes sense. You're trying to find out why she believes, the basis for what she believes. But Candace Owens, she seemed to have some type of basis. She seemed to have some type of answer to everything that he laid out here in this 3-hour debate. And as a matter of fact, if you dislike Candace Owens, well, then you don't like what just happened here, because now Candace Owens, after this debate, she's $300,000 richer. And so, of course, any haters of Candace Owens, this didn't go so well for them, because she didn't get exposed. She didn't get caught and grilled the way that people are saying online that she did, her haters at least. And as a matter of fact, she's coming off of this debate probably with a lot more notoriety, a lot more money, that's for sure. And there's a lot more people, including myself, now looking deeper into this and questioning the official narrative. But again, I will still say that the title of this video is accurate. Nothing was accomplished, because at the end of the day, we don't know anything for certain here until the trial actually happens, until we see the actual evidence, until actually Tyler Robinson is convicted of something based off of actual court evidence, and we still don't have any of that. So all of this, including what Candace Owens is saying, but she admitted that she's going off of the same evidence, but what Andrew Wilson is saying, especially that Tyler Robinson definitely did this, it's all conjecture. And Andrew Wilson kind of admitted to that fact at a certain point in this debate. And we could play that clip as well, which was quite revealing, because he will try to both sides it here and say that Tyler Robinson definitely did this. But then at a certain point in the very beginning of the debate, I believe, Patrick Bet-David asked, how certain are you that Tyler Robinson did this? And he said it was 75 to 85%.
Just out of curiosity, are you, between 0 to 100, what is the likelihood that you think Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk and killed him?
Based on the evidence right now, I don't know. I'd say 75, 85%.
Candace?
0%.
0%.
I'm at 0.
So
with what we've seen in terms of the evidence, I'm at 0%.
So not only, that maybe somebody was behind him as a patsy influencing him, you're not even saying that he didn't even shoot Charlie Kirk.
Right.
And kill him.
I would, if you said, was he involved that day, as
Right.
I have consistently said on my platform, I would say yes, he was. I don't know what role he played, but as the shooter, 0%.
So that 75 to 85% probability there leaves still open some possibility that it wasn't Tyler Robinson who did this. And that possibility still could be possible, because how do we know that Charlie Kirk was shot with the 30-06 bullet? This is part of the evidence that Candace Owens was presenting. The examiner, the medical examiner, when the bullet wound was examined, it couldn't be determined for a fact that it was a 30-06 bullet which Charlie Kirk was shot with. So how do we know that Tyler Robinson's gun was officially the murder weapon? None of that has been officially established yet. And yet there is an entire group of people in the Andrew Wilson camp trying to tell you that it's definitive. We know it was Tyler Robinson, Erica Kirk included. Stop asking questions. We know it was him. But how do we know? Well, you're going off of the same evidence that Candace Owens is going off of, because those are the facts that are currently available. And that's what Candace Owens was trying to say. She's going off of the same evidence, and she's going off of the same things that the state and themselves are arguing in court. So how the hell does Andrew Wilson come to his conclusion? And when you ask him, he didn't have that strong of an evidence either. You can cast doubt and you can cast doubt about anything, but none of this has been definitively proven in a court of law. None of it has been cross-examined. And so we're still operating off of conjecture. And that's completely, again, nothing got proven. And a lot of money got made, that's for sure. A lot of clicks and a lot of views. But again, at the end of the day, you watch this 4 hour debate, which I did twice to get to the bottom of all this, and you still come out with the exact same. I'm still in the same position I was in before. I had questions about the official narrative, of course. I'm questioning whether or not Tyler Robinson actually killed Charlie Kirk, and I'm still in the same position. I don't know. I don't know if he did it or not, and we're gonna have to wait and see. But Candace Owens, they tried to frame her positions as if she's definitively saying this or that. What she did definitively say is that Tyler Robinson didn't shoot Charlie Kirk. But besides that, she's not really saying, she's saying that she's willing to admit that she's wrong if other evidence is presented, and that's where you would hope that she would be. So they're trying to hold her feet to the fire and say, oh, you definitively said this. But again, she's willing to admit when she's wrong if new evidence is presented. So far, that evidence hasn't been presented. So that's where that leaves us, and Candace Owens is now $300,000 richer because of it. So let me know what you guys thought in this debate. Did you have your mind changed by anything that was said here in this debate? Personally, I didn't. Personally, from the reactions online, it doesn't look like anybody else did. It looks like everybody, this just fueled the fires even more. And Andrew Wilson's going out and declaring his victory lap. Candace Owens is going around and declaring hers. And so this has just fueled the fire. And honestly, it all seems like a big distraction from the actual crux of the matter here, which is trying to find out the truth about what happened to Charlie Kirk. And hopefully, Candace Owens will get to the bottom of that. I believe she is genuinely invested in getting to the bottom of that. But regardless of that, it seems like there's a group of people, Andrew Wilson included, that doesn't want you to ask any questions. So what the hell is going on with that? That to me is very suspicious. Let me know what you guys think. Is that suspicious to you? Make your comments known in the comments down below. For now, that's all I have to say about this. A loaded debate here. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you want to hear more from Wrestling with Politics, because there's a lot more discussions like this coming your way.